Power scaling. If you've been on my channel before, you've heard of power scaling, and you probably power scale semi-regularly. If you're 95% of the internet, however, you are not our group, and you are something different entirely. For the last few years, ever since I started power scaling back in like 2019, and I was complete garbage at it, I've seen stuff going around about how power scaling is cringe, power scaling is bad, power scaling is stupid. I've heard a lot of frankly shitty videos and like a lot of shitty opinions on the topic. And to be honest, I couldn't bother myself to watch that stuff anymore. I really couldn't. I remember watching this like a long time ago when it came out, and I was on like a different Google account or something. And I didn't agree with it, even though I saw the point of what Stan Lee said. And most of the time, you have people saying, well, the laws of physics say Goku isn't faster than light. Or he has to be slower than light because nothing can be faster than light. When, like, they don't really understand anime or scaling physics, right? Before I say anything in general, though, that someone takes as a personal insult, let me say this. Okay, this is only like, okay, this is a minute 20 minutes in. Or minute 20 seconds in. Anyway, I do not know any of these people personally. I will never know any of these people personally. I heard a lot of really weird, controversial stuff about Surfbone, Noodles, Parrot, Seth the Programmer, and like other people. That doesn't mean I'm going to involve myself with it. I don't think that's my thing to cover. I don't want to cover it. I don't care about covering any of that. We're not here for drama. We're here to talk about why I think people crying and moaning about power scaling actually just know nothing at all, or there's a reason why they don't want to power scale. So, let's begin. First, let's get to the root of the problem, because there's zero... Okay, look. There's zero videos on YouTube ever talking about this. Even Surfbone, I never hear him talking about this at all. He never talks about this. Despite how popular his channel is, he never talks about this one thing. Never. At all. Never does. Okay? Never. Do you know why people try to find groups of people to power scale with? It's because before you get to where you know about power scaling, you always start on the level of where you know nothing. Maybe you're on the level of, you've watched a lot of series, you've read a lot of manga, you've played a lot of games, you've read a lot of media, and like, while you know the lore of that stuff, you don't know why, like, a bunch of the stuff they say in terms of power scaling is important. You do not. So, you come to places like Versus Battle Wiki, Comic Vine, or if you don't like those places, you'll find yourself going to YouTube Shorts. Now, I actually like Crimson. Crimson's pretty cool. He tries to research stuff for Destiny, and like, he'll go to me for like any Destiny questions before he does a short. Not that I try to like control what he makes. I don't, but like, he tries to use what other people argue most accurately before he makes a short off that. Even if I don't like shorts much. But anyway, you have people who all come to these places, like YouTube Shorts, videos and stuff, all that. Now, I'm going to use the comment section here to explain my next point. When you have people coming to these videos and they leave their opinion, most of the time you always see them disagree with one another. But you always see something along the lines of, they're stupid, they're idiotic, they're wrong, I couldn't understand why they're dumb people. You could hear an argument about Warframe winning because of game mechanics. Same for Destiny. You could hear an argument for Warframe winning because of one character or another character. Again, same for Destiny. And, you know, the debate never ends. The debate has started since, like, 7-8 years ago. It's never going to stop. But, like, when you notice when some of these people want to go on power scale and they want to learn about how strong people are, they also see this. Sometimes when they see enough of that, they begin to believe and understand that to be the truth, even if they don't know that they're wrong. Now, before I make another argument against anti-power scalers, let me say something. When you have forms of what I would call unity of people or unity of communities coming in the form of cringy Discord groups, again, YouTube shorts, YouTube videos of people who don't know what they're saying, Comic Vine, character stats, space battle forums, they go there and they either become a part of the echo chamber or they leave and try to find another group of people. What I did when I was younger was when I started power scaling, I was actually a part of Jobber and Goons, or Realm of Splashes Discord at the time. I was around that. I was around for that era. Used to, you'd go to those servers because you want to find people to hang out with and be like-minded individuals. That's the reason why you went to those servers. Because you didn't like the YouTube videos, or you didn't like the shorts, or you didn't like the Reddit pages. Now, that all sounds fine and dandy, and it feels like I'm saying the same thing. But, what's the point? Well, let me say something about what I just said about that communicating and unification and all that. Back in the 70s, 80s, and onward, basically when TV was a thing, and or radio was a thing, and you heard people being on live radio or live TV, and you had a set of two scientists, you know, on the podcast or show that they were talking on, someone would say something incorrect, the other would correct them, and then you know what the one who was corrected would say? Yo, that's awesome. I didn't actually know that. Thank you for the correction. That's actually cool to know, right? But meanwhile, people nowadays, if you disagree with something they say, you know nothing about them as people, you don't say anything about them as people, you treat them as people even if you treat things that they say as something you don't like at all. Which again, I don't think that if someone, okay, how do I put this without sounding like an asshole? Say you're someone I don't like. I'm still going to agree with you if you say something correct. Because I'm going to agree with someone if they say something correct, not because I dislike them. Okay. Let me show you what I was told by a very dear friend of Zero-chan's. Zero-chan, by the way, made that One Punch Man video, and since I'm not a One Punch Man guy, I mostly judged the argumentation of the video, and I didn't like it. I talked about earlier how I was in Splash's Discord. Now, I'm not going to go on some sob story journey thing, but anyway, the point is, I was a lot dumber, more ignorant, I was more temperamental, I cared about things when, like, I really shouldn't have cared about them nearly as much as I should, and, at the time, I was far less sophisticated, and I had to get better at arguing, right? I'm not sure how you go from, like, 2019 to, like, right now, and I still see the same fucking thing. Well, not specifically from him, it's the same thing from people. Even in my time on Earth, I'm like 20 years old. People will not disagree with you anymore. They just want to personally attack you, right? Like, years have passed by this point. And, like, I caught it when he said that, like, a month ago, which you can tell I'm correct because it says it's about 3 to 4 weeks ago when I replied with that. So, like, it doesn't matter how big or small a channel you are. You're always going to have people who, like, personally attack others instead of trying to validate what they say on some level by asking them about their opinion or trying to directly have a conversation with them. It's always people want to talk to each other and just want to text anymore. They never really want to communicate as, like, individuals, and it goes on for way too fucking long and forever, right? Nowadays, people only want to text and say shit behind a screen. I'm not here to call people pussies or whatever, because that's not the whole point. The whole point is this. Nowadays, you can't go disagreeing with someone and expect it to be a healthy disagreement. someone's gonna say something, and they're probably gonna personally attack you if they don't agree with you. What's gonna happen is JobberGodot is gonna see this. He's either gonna reply with yet another attack, or he already saw it and he doesn't care at all. But either way, the point I'm making has already been made because of what he said here. So, like, it doesn't matter how big or small of a channel you are, you can say stupid shit. It doesn't change anything, right? Now, even though you can be a big and small channel and say stupid stuff or whatever, let me say something about Death Battle. First off, I might have problems with Death Battle, and I might have issues with the way that they use their research in fights. Okay, listen. Death Battle right now, and I was told this by someone else through the grapevine, they're trying to find scans and they're trying to find research for the Guardian from Destiny, and they're going to throw him up against the Operator from Warframe, or they're going to throw him up against the Final Fantasy XIV main character. That's exactly what they're going to do. Those are the fights that you've always seen the Guardian been in, you know, on the internet. Death Battle takes those matchups that they see on the internet, and they prefer doing those because they feel like they thematically work. The problem, however, is that stuff like Megatron versus Frieza doesn't work. But, you know, and while I know that they're doing that, I'm not gonna make a Google Doc, and I'm not gonna help them with the research. Here's the reason. And I was also told this by someone else who directly talked to other Death Battle people. So this is something I'm telling you that was told to me by them, okay? Death Battle maybe uses 10% of the research you put in a Google Doc. You know that massive gold experience Requiem video that JobberGodot made? As well as that massive gold experience Google Doc he made along with that video? If he sent that into Death Battle, when they eventually do Giorno versus Joker from Persona 5, they're only going to use maybe 10% or less of what JobberGodot sent them. Regardless, they're going to use less than 20% of what he sent them. The point isn't that they use everything, that they don't use everything so they're trash. These are 20-minute videos. The point is they don't use nearly as much as they should, and that's the reason why people always give them crap about their research, okay? They get crap about their research because they've done the same thing they've always done for years, alright? The researchers try their best to research the series that they're being paid to research for the episode or episodes. While they're not power scalers, you'd expect them to say stupid stuff that people would find stupid if, like, they were power scalers. But since they're not power scalers, they don't come from the power scaling community, they're going to say what we think is stupid, okay? That's just the truth of all. Alright? Do you want to have problems with Death Battle? Don't look at the fact that their scaling isn't, like, as great as other people's version of scaling. Just look at the fact that they run, like, a multi-million subscriber channel, and, like, they make probably thousands a month, and they're, like, really close to being halfway to, like, 5.5 mil, which is, like, 11/12 of, like, 6 mil, alright? That's pretty damn good. And you get consistent 2 to 5 million views for, like, specific death battles that they put up. That's also cool. Sometimes you'll see a lower dipper like 1.3 mil or 1.4. Alright. But I'm fine with helping out Death Battle. But if they're gonna use like Destiny stuff, someone from Death Battle is gonna have to get a hold of me. And like I'll just tell them to shit myself. And like I'll talk to other researchers. But I'm not gonna sit there and make a doc just for it to basically not even be used at all, okay? That's not happening. Another thing I'm going to say is it doesn't take someone that made a Google Doc with the help of 2 other people or more, with 20 or 30 other people giving votes about what they think a versus matchup would come out in. It doesn't take that happening. It doesn't take, frankly, 20 or 30 people contributing to a Google Doc just for a piece of research to be valid. Alright? I can use a YouTube video if someone puts a lot of research into a YouTube video as a baseline to understand that character better. I'm not saying that they're a source or so automatically they're valid or whatever just because they made a video. But like, if you need to know something about someone, you look up a wiki page or you look up a video about them. That's just it, you know? Death Battle does the thing where, hey, Dragon Ball is pretty... Frieza's a cool character from Dragon Ball. Megatron's a cool character from Transformers. Let's see what happens if they fight, right? They don't go as in-depth as people want them to go in-depth doing, alright? Frankly, they're not as good as other power scalers when it comes to in-depth stuff. They're a lot worse than even, like, how they are normally once you go above, like, Multiversal Plus or, like, 5D. Now, everything I just said, problems I have with Death Battle, that still doesn't change the fact that they're the most unifying channel of, like, all channels on YouTube when it comes to power scaling / versus battles. Something else I can say. Well, how long have I been doing it? 16 minutes? I guess another thing I could say, however, is let's look at some debates on YouTube. I found these two primarily just because you know, people was you know, use Destiny characters in debates. You know, these two videos I found. It was these two. I don't care too much about how good they are with, like, Destiny. But the point is, I could use a debate, or the other debate, like this, to learn information about a character I don't know very much about. Because if I happen to not know anything about them, and I hear about what they can do in a debate, that's pretty cool, right? Now, let me be honest, I don't know, I don't think I know Burn Hunter. If I do, and he just changed his name to something, and, like, I forgot what it was before, alright? Otherwise, you know, Burn Hunter's pretty cool. You know, I like hearing people talk about Destiny on other places that I don't care so much about if they put it Outerversal or Hyperversal. That doesn't matter to me. So, frankly, let's just leave it at that. If someone's saying something about a character and nothing's contradicting what they say, they're generally right, okay? While you can say something and there can be problems with it, even if it's not outright contradicted, still try to take what they say and try to take the things they're right about what they say. You don't have to take everything someone says to be true about something. You can still take things that they say to be true, even if you don't agree with all of it. It doesn't matter if it's a debate, a versus battle page, a wiki, a death battle, or a death battle Google Doc. We frankly shouldn't even be having this talk. But people want to keep talking about it. So I guess this is my thoughts on it. Let's see, what's next on the docket? I guess the fallacy thing. Okay, so listen. 90% of people on the internet don't actually know how a fallacy works. They hear about fallacies from other people and then they just use them as words. Rarely do they ever use the correct fallacy, and even then, they just want to say, it's a fallacy, so your entire point and nothing about it was correct. So therefore, all of it was wrong, alright? That's something called a fallacy. If you made a three-stage argument and one of your arguments in that three-stage argument had errors, and I said it's all wrong, that's a fallacy because 2/3 of that argument could still be correct. If you want to know about fallacies in particular, though, here's an academic resource called the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy. You come here if you want to know about philosophy and logic stuff. It has a custom Google search browser specifically for philosophical related searches. You come here if you want to know more about that stuff. And then you ask someone else if you're unsure about it. And, you know, you can always ask someone else if you need a second opinion. But the point is, don't just go around saying... Don't just do what Cosmic Scalar says and just go around saying words just to make people look stupid, when in reality, he just doesn't want to admit that what they're saying could be accurate on any level. Because if he admits that they're correct on any level, it means what he says, even on any level, as an extension, would be wrong. So, I could repeat a lot of things, and I could go on ad nauseum and just make it boring and just annoying to hear about. But it's already 20 minutes in, so I'm going to try to wrap this up in like the last couple minutes, alright? In the end, discussions about power scaling happen because people don't know how to power scale to begin with. You want to know about how strong someone is? Read or watch the series or play the game they're from. If you want to just drop comments on YouTube Shorts just to say that they're wrong, just for the sake of being wrong, just because you don't like that video game, get the fuck out of here. You just ruined power scaling for the rest of us. You make all these people here, who I guarantee at least 1/4 of the stuff they say is fucking stupid, you make them feel validated because of the stupid shit you say, okay? Like, listen, I haven't talked to Jobber and Goons in years. And, like, let me go find this. Like, hold on, let me find this. I hadn't talked to him in, like, years. And, like, he looks like a stupid fuck from this comment. Even though he's got 23,000 subs, he knows his shit about Marvel, and he's got someone who's reliable enough about DC to help give him DC stuff. Like, it doesn't matter who is saying what and where and when, okay? People are people. People are going to disagree. They're always going to disagree. They disagreed since the dawn of time. They're going to disagree after the time ends, okay? It doesn't matter how. It's just going to happen, alright? Like, people who want to deny power scaling for the things that they see from larger YouTubers, like something from the Seth the Programmer debacle, like, I don't know, fucking Noodles getting into an argument with Swag Kage every other day of the fucking week over, like, I don't know, what was it, Kakazu versus Pain, or, like, Itachi versus, like, the 5 Kage? It was a Naruto topic, and, like, they still fucking argue about that shit to this day. Like, come on, let's be honest, alright? We're all tired of hearing about this stupid ass shit. Let the topic die. We're tired of hearing about it, alright? Anyway, my name is Nothing Important here. If you want me to, like, give more honest takes like this, please let me know. Because I understand that people have different opinions to myself. And, like, I'm not going to make debunk after debunk after debunk after debunk after debunk on people, because it doesn't solve anything. But if there's something you want me to, like, I don't know, talk about, let me know. You know, I could always talk about it in a stream or whatever, if you're new. Like, share, and sub. You know, share my stuff around. If you don't like any of the people that I talked about, please do not personally attack them. I'm not going to allow personal attacks on their person just because I don't like things they say or do. Alright? I don't care for that kind of thing. Like, this is 2023. We need to start treating people like they're people instead of treating people like they're pieces of shit. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Like, share, and sub if you're new, or if you're returning, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.